All right, welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Potent the Rockstar, aka Shamanic Poe, and today we're back with former member of Brokencyde, artist, tattoo artist, rap artist, poet. I got a lot of names for you. Phat J, what's good, my guy? How you feeling?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Uh,
Nice.
Only thing is like since fucking New Year's since New Year's, I've been like drinking a little too much. I've been like, yo, I need to call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good you could check yourself a little bit though, you know?
Yeah, like it's good and it's bad because I know like New Year's came, I was like, I'm gonna have this fucking big hurrah for myself, basically. Cause
Yeah.
the world is shit, right? So I'm gonna have a big hurrah for myself. But then it's like after the fact, I'm like, damn, I feel like because we're past 30. You know what I mean? Me and you are
Yeah.
past 30, Phat. Like
Yeah.
if a motherfucker gets drunk, like really drunk, like 5 shots, 3 beers,
Yeah. You
you're
feel
gonna
that shit.
you're gonna feel that shit for like a week. And that's what I've been doing. I've been feeling it for a week ever since New Year's. I've been feeling it for a week. And like
Yeah.
every other day, I've been drinking like a beer or two or having a couple shots just to try to kind of like rectify it or kind of like, because honestly, because of all the shit that I've been through in my life, I feel like I have like more anxiety after I drink. Like I can drink and I like the fact that I can drink and enjoy myself. But
Yeah.
once I'm done drinking, the next day or so, I'm having like wild anxiety. I have to
Yeah.
like, like work out the shit in my head and make sure like I'm not just gonna go and drink. And it's crazy because I never like been an alcoholic or somebody that's been drinking crazy. Like I had my
Yeah.
binges, but I've never
Yeah.
been a person that drinks forever. I always
Yeah.
stop. But like even when I do go in, I fucking I get into this mindset or I get into this, it's not even mindset, it's like somatically, it's like something in my body where I feel like I need it. And it's like, nah, dog, you don't need it. Fuck you. So I end up
Yeah.
having to fight it for a while. You ever dealt
I
with some
think
shit like
it's
that?
I think it's like not only the escape but also like it helps you sort of get past the moment. So to answer your question, yes, but not really anymore, just because it gets me sick every single time, like indigestion and like I don't know, but it's the worst. So I just don't even do it anymore. I just really
So
stick to
you,
smoke.
I feel you. So you get like, you get gassy and all like fucking acidy and all that shit when after you drink
Not
them for a
gassy,
while.
but acidy for sure. Like I ate too much pizza type. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah, because I get like that sometimes, man. Like even now, like I got like that and I'm like trying to fucking burp it out and doing all these extra shit, but
Yeah.
doesn't always work. And it's like,
Sparkling water and then throw some lemon in it. I'm telling you, it'll get rid of your heartburn every time.
yeah, sparkling
Even
water with some lemon.
yeah, because it like it bubbles and it gets rid of that like burpy feeling, and then the lemon, it's acidic, right? But your body processes it as alkaline, so it gets rid of the actual indigestion. So or the you know what I mean, the heartburn. So
Oh
yeah, that's
yeah.
I swear because I used to get it all the time, and then I started doing that. I don't get it
How'd you
anymore.
figure this shit out? How you figure this shit out, Jay? What was it? What was it? What was it? Was it like a fucking Google search? Did you Google? Did you do the
Yeah,
Googles?
yeah. I have a friend who's like a food hippie. I don't know. I can't explain it, but like she's really smart with foods and what they do. And she was explaining to me that lemons are acidic, but they actually get processed by your body as an alkaline. So it's really good for your health. And just having lemon water throughout the day because it tastes better. You know what I mean? Than just regular
Right.
water. It like has something to it, and so I don't know, but I fell in love with it and I drink it like all the time now. Me and my wife, we like buy the big ass bags of lemons and just like go off,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, I'm telling you, it'll
Yo,
change your
I
life,
gotta
bro. I swear, swear.
I gotta try it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it for sure. I'm gonna try it. Fuck. What was I thinking about? because you were saying something about lemons and water and all that other shit, and I'm thinking like I've tried some shit and it doesn't work for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that right there, I'm gonna have to try it to make sure that
Yeah.
because I've had some type of things with lemon in them, and they even those kind of make me feel some type of way. So I gotta just make sure.
But like
But
straight from the lemon though is what I'm saying. Not lemonade, not none of that shit, because they have to put so much sugar and like it's horrible for you. But like straight up
right,
lemon, you have control. Like you don't want to squeeze the whole lemon in there. You just want to get a little something in there. You know what I mean? And like lemonade, they're like it's like 50 lemons in one glass. You know what I mean?
yeah, mad sugar, like fucking a pound of
Yeah.
sugar they put in that bitch. I fucking
Yeah.
hate it. Um. So anyway, man, you just dropped 2009, right? With Michael. You and Michael
It's
just
it
dropped the project.
Yeah, it's called Mirage.
Mirage, my fault.
Yeah, no,
2009
you're
is a
good.
song with Melissa Marie.
Yeah, it's our single, yeah, with Melissa. So from the Millionaires, for those that don't know,
Right.
she's amazing, bro. Like she blessed us for sure with that one. We weren't expecting it, but like her and her boyfriend, Kaylin, we're all like super good friends, and like we're FaceTiming every other day and just like chilling. Like um, her boyfriend Kaylin and I, we just like chill and blaze, and you know what I mean, like quarantine and
Right.
chill type thing. But they live in
Right.
Arizona, so I mean it has to
Oh,
be
okay.
like that. But I'm just saying, like nowadays you can have really good friends that don't even live in your state. It's crazy.
Right. Right.
I
I mean,
love that
that's
though. I love it.
I love it too, man, because like people around sometimes it's like hard. You go outside the fucking door, and as soon as you go outside your house, like you just be like, "Who? Where do I fit in?" None of these motherfuckers like around me, at least from what I can tell, fit me or
Yeah.
I fit them. So it's like, you could be cool with them, but you're kind of like, I'm kind of cool with you, but I'm really cool with the people that I'm with online,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, but 2009 was a song that you did with Melissa Marie from the Millionaires, right?
Right.
2009, was that a year that Brokencyde and Millionaires toured?
Yeah, we did the Warp Tour.
Oh,
So
yeah, I did Warped Tour together 2009.
yeah, she talks about it in her verse, like, she's still feeling it like we're on the Warp Tour, And in the video we
That's,
like flash the tour pass and all that. It's
oh, yeah,
cool,
I
man.
didn't
It's
see the
it's
video.
just
I'm sorry. I haven't seen the video.
oh
I
no, you're good.
apologize.
You're good. But anybody who wants to see it, it's on Melissa, her YouTube. It's Melissa then Marie.
Yeah,
So
Melissa Marie from the Millionaires, little Asian girl, cute little Asian girl with the big bows and shit like that. If anybody have seen it or know about it or have seen it online or some shit passed by it, don't know who that is. That's who that is.
but she's
Big
dope and
star.
like a revolutionary in my opinion.
Oh,
Like
definitely,
she's
definitely.
definitely like a marketing genius. Like she tells me all this stuff and I'm like, you're smart. Like how do you know this? You know what I mean? But
Nah,
she's
she
been super helpful to me. So she's a great
right,
friend.
right,
Her and Kaylin for sure.
right. I mean, like you can't you can't just pretend that she's just a pretty face that everybody's like liking. It's not the case because there's plenty of pretty faces out there. There's plenty of women out there that want notoriety and looking for attention. And
Yeah.
to get it, you have to have a certain skill. You have to have a certain marketing strategy. You got to be able to talk to your crowd, the people that would actually fuck with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that learning that and or at least knowing that intrinsically is some sort of intelligence. Because
But she
most
knows
people
how to
don't
get it.
get it.
She knows how to get it to the people though. Like that's like I'm good at making art, but it just chills because I'm not like a promotional guy. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm not
right,
super like business minded. I'm more artistic minded. So it's hard for me sometimes to be like consistent with what I post because I'm like, am I spamming or do I have something to say? You know what I mean? So
right.
I wrestle with that, but I've been learning a lot from you, like just posting funny stuff and posting good things that you just like throughout the day. I think that's dope, and so like you've inspired me to want to post a little bit more, but I'm just like I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that. Yo, Fat, it's like because we came from a time that we're like when we drop something and any time that we even if we dropped a picture, if we dropped a tour, if we dropped show, if we did a video, we did any song, it had to be the biggest event of events. So we're
Yeah.
kind of trained into that mindset of like, now I'm about to drop a song. Like right now, I just was working on a song that I'm mixing down that I'm about to send to JJ. And like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that song's gonna do some numbers. It's not gonna do crazy, but it's probably gonna do, more numbers
Yeah.
than usual or what I did the last time. So
Right.
it
He's
gives
dope.
me
He's
some,
dope too. Like,
yeah, Jay-Z's a fucking beast. But it gives me like some type of anxiety, some type of like, now I need to like make sure this happens in a bigger way than it needs to. But
yeah.
really, um, and I do feel what you feel, like half of the time is like I'm making the art and I don't want to just be the person that's spamming it to everybody. Like, yo, check out my shit, check out my shit. But
Yeah.
for it to get to a certain space, you kind of gotta like fucking turn that psychopathic mind on and just be like, time to go. But the
Yeah.
problem that I'm having with that, Fat J, because I know what you're dealing with. Me and you are kind of similar in that regard. Like, I have my art, and then I'm like, do I really want to like push this and sell this and market this?
Yeah.
But that mind space that I have to get to is a psychopathic mind space where I have to be like, fuck all my creativity shit. Fuck that guy. I don't know who that guy is. Fuck him in the face. I'm going to
Yeah.
be the guy now that's going to push this song like it wasn't me that made it,
Yeah. Yeah. True.
because if you sit there and because it's our art, it's our shit. So it kind of feels tacky. It feels weird to be like, yo, check out this new shit I just made. Here it is. Like,
And
it feels weird,
you
right?
don't want to be like, you don't want to like up yourself too hard. You know what I mean? So people be like, like, I don't know if you quite deserve that, or you know what I mean? I never wanted to be like too cocky of a person or be like, yeah, well, I've done this, 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 and this, so you should respect me because of this or whatever. But like I just try to show instead of like bragging, or you know what I mean? It's
No, I get you, Fat. But the thing about
it bums me out though too. Bums me
I
out sometimes.
what bums you out about it?
Um that like the things that I've accomplished and the things that I've done don't necessarily mean they don't mean anything now. You know, like everything has changed. It means nothing now. I got to start all the way over pretty much and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like all the people I've met, all the t-shirts I've signed, all like I always, no matter what, when I felt like shit, when I felt good, it didn't matter. I went out and I signed people's stuff and I said what up and I smoked bowls and I took shots. And you know what I mean? Like I
right,
chilled with the people that supported Brokencyde. And then
right.
like I'm just trying to like figure out why they don't support me or you know what I mean? Or any
Or
of the scene
reciprocate.
anymore. Like it's a lot to unpack, but that's what bums me out is I'm like trying to
I
start all the way over.
I feel like a lot of people um are still very supportive of Broken Side, right? Like the ones that actually listen to you guys, not the people that were like, oh my God, Broken Side, he's here, they're here, that's amazing, they're so cute, or whatever. It's the people
Yeah.
that actually was fucking with y'all, that was listening to y'all every day going to work. Like I know
Yeah.
people, Reggie, I knew people because like me in the scene, like I was in the scene, I was kind of late in that scene. So like I had to go in that scene and everything that I did had to be compared to y'all. And I had to be like,
Yeah.
I'm not broken side. I don't scream. I don't do no screams. But it's like,
Yeah. But
no,
you had
but
the
you're
look
do
though. You had the look though, for sure.
right. So it's like you got the look, you got the sound. You're like broken side. So it's constantly getting compared to. But what I
Yeah.
think for you, Fat J, is like after you left Broken Side and after everything that happened, um, I feel like I don't know who's managing the Broken Side pages,
Yeah.
but they're not giving everybody a push because everybody should deserves a push. I feel like, and everybody should get the push because they're all family. And
Yeah.
if there's an extension, I was having this conversation with my girl yesterday. I was like, if there's an extension where Broken Side, like say for instance, Sev dropped like fucking 15 different projects with 10, 15, 20 songs on each project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this hundreds of thousands of Brokencyde fans, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that don't even know that Seth dropped all those projects. So
Yeah.
it's I without trying to like
That's one of my big regrets though,
dive
dude,
deep.
is like um so instead of signing, I feel like we should have started our own label, our own movement, and everything is under one place. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
if you were compared to us, it would make sense for you to come join the family and all of us, you know what I'm saying, like build
right,
together, because
right,
there was a lot of people that we were taking on tour and we were associated with, you know what I mean, and it would have
right.
been cool to all be in one spot. But I was really young, and I didn't necessarily know the way that the business of music works. You know what
Right,
I mean? Like I was
right.
just seeing it like, oh, this is a huge opportunity. And it's
Hell
just
yeah.
and it's kind of cliche, but also it isn't, because they did what they said they were gonna do. Like
Right.
we got on the Warp Tour. I wouldn't say it's because of them, but they gave us the okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like sort
And,
of
and
like the
you mean
thumbs up.
what was the name of the label that you guys were signed to? Because I'm
It was
drawing a blank
called
right.
Break Silence, but
Break
it
Silence.
yeah,
Right.
but it's derived
Uh,
from Suburban Noise, which is
from
like
Suburban
Cottonmouth
Noise,
Kings,
Cottonmouth Kings, which I
all
just
that
did.
stuff.
I just did a show with Cottonmouth Kings last year with Cottonmouth Kings and Twisted in fucking St. Louis. But so
Nice.
those guys were the ones that signed you. Was it Cottonmouth Kings or was it like Cottonmouth Kings
No,
managers, agents and shit?
no, the head of the label actually signed us. His name's
Okay.
Kevin Zinger. He's a cool dude. Like he was pretty inspiring. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I just didn't understand fully what signing means. So like you become associated with who you sign with naturally, but I didn't understand the fan base of that label and how it didn't necessarily coincide with what we were doing. You know what I mean? So
Well,
they
I
had
wouldn't.
certain ways of promoting it that was in a negative way,
It
and
was weird.
it was weird, and we were like, who gave this a go? Because like they were trying to literally promote us as the world's most hated band, and it's like, no, we have songs about everything. We're not just freaks. Like we're not just Get Crunk. Like we had so many different songs and we tried so many different genres, and like in my
So
opinion our catalog is dope. Like just people don't take the time to
no,
to go through it, you know what I mean? Because we had
hundred
like some
percent.
hyphy shit. Like we had the
Yeah, yeah.
dopest hyphy. Like
Fat J, Fat J,
Sev is
Fat J.
hyphy.
Jay, you had E40 on your fucking album, and E40 was just doing the versus battles with Too Short, like last week
Yeah.
for 3 million people and shit. Like,
Hmm.
so I understand,
But that
but
was the label had everything to do with that. So
and
we wouldn't have had that verse if it wasn't for the label. So it was helpful. It really was, and it put a lot of eyes on what we were doing. But
right,
but was it the right eyes? You know what I mean? E40,
right.
maybe that was a
That was
good
a good
look.
look. That was
That
a good
was a
look.
good look, but like Cottonmouth Kings, not necessarily. Like we did catch a couple like scragglers, you know what I mean? But we didn't have that Southern California sound. It was
Right,
more like hyphy and crunk. You
right,
know what I
right, right,
mean?
right,
But
right. That was
there was EDM too. Like we did a lot of like super dope EDM songs, and to bring it back full circle, the Mirage EP that Mikl Shea and myself just dropped. It's
right,
it's all just throwback. So it's
right.
like it's that 2009 sound. So it's a theme. It's not just here's an EP, whatever. Like it brings me back and Michael back to like the dance parties, the lights, the you know what I mean? Like just having a party and a good time, but doing it in a creative way and also an updated way, because like it's like for instance, we have a song, and it's a club song, but the
Right.
song is it's about making your home the club,
Right.
and we're calling it a revolution. Your home is now the new club, and I'm like, there's no such thing as a VIP when you're making your drinks by the kitchen sink, and I'm like, I'm getting freaky with the mommy, but she's actually a mommy because my kids call her mommy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like I'm trying to do it in a creative way. It's a club song, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man. Yo, Jay, man, I understand because for you, it's like you love hip hop, right? Just like I love hip
Love hip
hop,
hop.
and we
Love hip
like
hop.
we grew up on hip hop. So, but hip hop is normally and naturally negative and fucking toxic or whatever. And um, although I'm not completely like going out there to be like, look at the rainbows and the stars and in the sky and everything. Like I've heard some
Yeah.
stuff that you've done that you were trying to go with the real psychedelic, the real like trippy, chill,
Yeah.
everybody happy, everybody enjoy themselves vibe. Although I
Yeah.
haven't done that, my stance, if you listen through my music, I never really being super negative or toxic because I don't like it. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of part of the non-success, if you would say, for like the masses. It's because we're not trying to be extra like negative or toxic in the way that people would normally find people to be toxic in hip hop.
Yeah.
So
No,
we're not talking about like we
yeah, I
talking about
can
drugs,
agree
talking
with
about
that.
smoking a little weed. Like I'll talk about mushrooms. I might tell you, but like my mushroom line will be like this small. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be like, oh, you gotta take mushrooms. Everything's about mushrooms. Like it would be like,
Yeah.
take mushrooms. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
which like nuance and like subtleties is not something that most people are into nowadays. Everything got to be overt. Everything kind of got to be like what you guys set the stage for. And I don't think you guys noticed that y'all was setting the stage for it. I think that was something that was necessary with music and with the social media and shit to get attention. But you guys ended up setting up a standard
Yeah.
without knowing it. And then now guys are trying to like lift that standard. And I think we've already reached that ceiling and nobody even wants to see nobody that's seen or like obscene or like outrageous. Nobody wants to see that shit no more because they've done that
Yeah.
to the death with like little pumps and the Takashis of the world. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, Phat J, when you saw a little pump in Takashi, you was like, just like me, like, wait a minute. This kind of seems familiar. This kind of seems familiar with what's going on here. All the
Yeah.
outlandish like antics, all the like the colorful hair,
Colorful.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
tattoos, all crazy. It wasn't just like tattoos on your sleeve. It was like tattoos on the face. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like this outlandish. We're very kind of childish in our perspective, but we're having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Which
it's
is
like,
like,
how much does your look pop? You know what I mean?
right.
Like, I just wear black. Like, I might throw a couple colors in there every once in a while, but like, I'm a black tee sort of dude, which is
Right.
fine. But like, nowadays it's like, how are you gonna catch these kids' attention? How are you gonna? And you have 5 seconds. You know, like,
Literally 5 seconds. Like literally maybe not even 5 seconds, Phat J. You might have like 2, 3.5. If the first 2, 3.5 seconds don't look interesting, you're just getting scrolled up on. And next on to the next.
yeah,
What else? They might like it, but they didn't pay attention. They just liked it. On to the
yeah,
next. And
yeah.
that's just so
I'm
fucked up.
guilty though too. Like, I can't say that I'm not guilty because I'm guilty too. But I
We're
try
all
to like
guilty.
show I try to show as much love to everyone that I can. Like, if it takes a couple like muscle emojis, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do that because why not? Just spread
Right.
love. Like, why not?
Right.
Takes
Right.
two
Phat J.
seconds.
Me and you are the same on that regard. Like when it's time to spread love, I want to spread love. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm an East Coast dude, so I'm kind of rough by the edge, rough around the edges. I kind of got a little bit of attitude. I say things with a little bit more, egoism or fucking narcissism or whatever the fuck they want to call it. But dog, I have
That's like
mad
that
love.
East Coast.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
that
East
East
Coast
Coast.
shit. It's
Yep.
just like it's kind of like to me what I've interpreted as was kind of just displaying the shadow a little bit. You know, like
Yeah.
Carl Jung's shadow and shit. It's kind of playing with it. So like I'll make jokes. I'll be like, fuck out of here, nigga. What the fuck you think this shit is? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm not that serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me and you could argue right now. We're like, fuck you mean? Oh, fucker, you don't know shit. But really,
You want to
I
go get
don't
a
think you
sandwich?
don't know shit. Right. Let's go eat something. Let's go get a beer, my guy. It's all good, you know?
Yeah, man.
So 2009, you was on Warped Tour.
Yep.
Um,
2009
shit.
was actually a huge year for us, like Brokencyde, myself in general, because my first son was born. I got married.
Yeah.
That's when I think that's when our first album came out, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that was 2009. So like it was a huge year. We did our first like international shows. Like it was a huge year for us. So, but
So
not only that, like
international.
I
Right.
loved the sound. Like I can't explain it. Like the electro, like kind of like when auto tune wasn't so like looked down upon. You know what I mean? Like if you, I personally feel if auto tune is done in a certain way, it sounds dope. Like I don't necessarily want to hear it all the time, but on like an electronic track, I just feel like it's dope. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Like I don't know, even some of the trap shit, like when they throw some auto tune, I like it. You know, it's just, are you gonna do it in the right way? If you're like rapping on some underground shit, it's gonna sound whack. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah,
But
you can't do auto tunes underground. Like that's not gonna work. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm sure you're
that's
not
why
trying to.
I stick to themes. You know what I mean? I have a theme. Like, is this the Mirage EP is like our ode to 2009. You know what I mean? That sound, that thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Most of the time when I rap, there's no auto tune. Like most of the time when I sing, there's no auto tune or very light. You know what I mean?
Right.
But but with this, like I wanted to make it sound that way. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
like, but I did it in a certain way that it feels good to me. I can't
No.
speak for anybody else, and they might hear it and be like, "Oh, this is cringe as fuck." But
Right.
like to me, it sounds cool.
No. It
And
sound.
I'm
It,
at the point now where I just create, and if it makes me feel good, then it is good. And regardless of what people say, because they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say anyway, but I just make what makes me feel good. So sometimes that's chill, trippy music. Sometimes that's like bars hip hop. Sometimes
Right.
that's reggae. Sometimes it's electronic music. Like nowadays,
Right.
you can do anything. And I
Right.
figure it out when I'm making the beats because I do all the production. I don't know if people
Right.
know that or not, but literally anything you hear, I've done the production for it, which
Right.
is like a huge job. I mean, lyrics are important, etc., but the beat is the most important job.
Right. No. Definitely. Definitely. The beat ain't right. I don't care what you're saying. And no one's gonna want to hear what the fuck the words you're trying to say.
But anybody who wants to hear the EP, just look up Phat J, Phatj with no space, and then Mikl Shea, Miklshea, and the EP is called Mirage. It's dope though.
Mirage.
Like it's like feel good music though. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
upbeat. It's dance, bro. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Pat,
dance for sure.
yo, Pat J, you don't think I got you on the fucking podcast and I haven't heard it yet? I heard this shit. I heard this shit. I spun it a couple times. This shit is nice.
Thank you, bro.
The only thing that I'm saying is where's Sev at, yo? Because I know
So
y'all might feel some type of way, be like, yo, eh.
no. It's not that like at all. There's never, literally, never been bad feelings between any of us.
No
So
doubt, no doubt.
I literally reached the idea of this EP was to bring the boys back. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like bring the original crew back. Like this whole sound is something that Sev created. I didn't create it. Like he told me this needs to go here, this needs to happen there. So Sev is a genius. Like
right,
straight up, Sev is a genius. And
right,
I'll say that out loud. I'll say that to anybody who asks. Like that whole sound is Sev. So I tried, and literally every single track I reached out, but he's at a different point in his life. You know what I mean? He's like a newer dad. Like he's trying to figure out who he is outside of Seb. You know what I mean? If that makes
No
any
doubt.
sense. And
No
like,
doubt.
I'm really his friend. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not like
Right.
trying to like steal his steez, or you know what I mean? Like I'm actually
Right.
his friend. And if he tells me like I don't want to do music right now, then it's all good. And I'll still hit him up and we keep it moving. And maybe someday when the time is right and everything happens the way it's supposed to, I believe personally, I think it'll happen. But right now isn't the right time. However, it's the right time to bring light to this beautiful music that I feel and you feel a little bit that it created what is now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's important for people to know where that comes from. And
No
Mikl
doubt.
Shea, dude, his voice is iconic. That song Freaks, it was everywhere. That song is Mikl Shea as well. Like he killed that song. His
Right.
voice is dope.
Right.
Like,
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows his voice on that fucking song.
you know what
But
I mean? So
I
like,
I want to shift gears. I want to shift gears with you here, Phat J.
okay.
Okay. So in 2009, you did Brokencyde. You went on tour. You did the Warp tours and stuff. Is there any moment? Because I know that y'all had a fight with like Punchline or some shit like that. It's one of y'all Punchline, and I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm like, yo, Punchline got punched. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was kind of fly because I know at the time because of the marketing, like how you was just addressing that.
Yeah.
Fuck is their name? I just lost it again. Not Break Silence, but
Senses fail.
not Senses. Well, you got into a problem with Senses Fail?
Yeah, he hated us. He was trying to get us kicked off the Warp Tour and all kinds of shit.
What?
Yeah, he hated us, dude. He talked all types of shit. And not only that, he got everybody else to hate us too. But like, it's
But
fine.
9 out of 10, Phat J, I know what it was. I know what it was about because I went. 2012 was when I went on Warp Tour. 2012 went on Warp Tour. Blood on Dance Floor was on Warp Tour, right? And
Yeah.
everybody hated Blood on Dance Floor. And I mean, you know, Davi. There's
Yeah,
mad things.
they deserved
That's good.
it though.
Yeah, there's bad. There's plenty. There's plenty of bad.
Not necessarily Jay, his dude or
Obvious.
whatever. He was always good to me anyway. And the other guy, we won't even mention his name. He's the worst. Like, I never liked that dude. And like they deserve.
And I know y'all toured with them. I know you toured with them just like I toured with them. So I know you toured with them.
Had no choice. It's like this is where you're going.
This is the crowd. These are the kids at the same time. The same kids that liked Brokencyde. Most of them like Blood on Dance Floor, and vice versa. So I understood that. But I was on tour with them. You know what I mean? And I know Davi as far as I know. You don't want to say his name, but I don't give a fuck. I know him for being a bastard. I know him for doing wild, disrespectful, pedophilic shit.
Yeah.
Like blatantly in the face, but he was so manipulative that he would go up to the fucking parent and be like, hey, I'm gonna take your daughter that's 16 out on tour with me. And the parent be like, all right, well, that's fine, because you're a star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I understood that.
Just to be clear, I never witnessed that personally, but I never hung out with him. Like when we were on tour, it was passing in the hall, what's good, see ya. Like I was because not around. That's you guys, not my scene at all.
Right,
at all.
Jay, you guys were Brokencyde already. You guys were already doing your thing. So by the time y'all even got on a tour with these guys, y'all were already bigger. Y'all were there before them. So it's like, all right, we'll do some shit with y'all. Y'all doing something now. Y'all popping. We'll do something. But for us, it was like, we got to get it how we live. This is like our opportunity, especially for me and JJ. And then we go on this tour and we're trying to like figure out what the fuck is what. And we're watching this shit in front of our faces, but we couldn't do nothing because most of the parents, if not all, were down with it. parents was cool with it. They wasn't like, oh, you shouldn't. They were cool with it. Go ahead, take my kid with you. It was like fucking. It was blowing my mind. I literally was watching him do mad bullshit. And it was our first. No, this is our second day on tour. First day of tour, I was not paying attention. Second day of tour, I started paying attention, and that led me to like, as soon as we finished our performance, I ran into the car and I stood in the Suburban. And I smoked, you know what I mean? I just chilled in the Suburban. I didn't even talk to nobody. Like I saw a bunch of shit. I don't want to see that shit.
That's because we're not them. We never been like them. We're not the same. They get categorized with us, like you and I, but we're not the same. Like at all. Like 100%. We love hip hop. The lyrics are important, even though they might be simplified at times. It's done in a certain way on purpose. You know what I mean? But the lyrics were always important. It was never about the fame. It was never about that. It was always about bringing a good time, bringing positive energy, a positive force. Like we were never taking advantage ever. And I can 100%. Say that 100% with my heart. Brokencyde never took advantage of people. Ever. Yeah, 100%. We just lifted people up, and like we gave people opportunities, and you know what I mean? And sometimes it just so happens to be a blood on the dance floor, but you don't know that's what's happening when you're doing it. You know what I mean? These things unveil themselves, and then you're like, whoa, I'm not a part of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. At all. I mean, you guys already signed. You had the MySpace clout. You guys were doing things. For me, like, I was just trying to get it how I live. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to fend for myself. I'm trying to be like I honestly, like, oh my God, this is how fucked up my mind was. I honestly was like, I don't care what he does. Like, for a split second, I was like, I don't care. Like, half of it is because if the parents don't care, why the fuck should I care? I get that. But then the other half is like, come on, dog. At the end of the day, they're little kids, man. And they're going to grow up like with their mind fucked up because you spitting all this bullshit in their head. But at that moment when I was so fucking thirsty for fame and for success and all this other shit, I was like, whatever. Shut up, JJ. Don't say nothing. Because we got kicked off the stage because JJ was on stage talking shit. You know what I mean? And it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Just give us like 6 more tour dates with these guys and then they can go fuck themselves, because I knew they were fucking corrupted, but I'm like, let's at least get in front of their fans and show them music and perform and do all this shit. But do you see that now as far as like what you touring is like, damn, should I even ever toured with these motherfuckers? Like, was it worth it?
That's what I
was
was
it not worth it?
It tarnishes our brand.
100%.
It tarnishes the way, even though it wasn't us, but like you're directly like, you'll never talk about us without talking about them. And that's the worst part about it. You know what I mean? But that's a lot of that's why I try to like separate myself from that, because I never been that. I was never even really seen, to be real with you. I was always like skater. You know what I mean? Like I had a skate style, and like that's just who I was. Like I was just blazing and like happy to be there, like I wasn't necessarily part of the scene. I was, now that I look back, because then like dudes started wearing the bandanas like I did, and they started like doing things that I did, and it became
Phat J.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but you were seen, bro. You were not Crunkcore. But you were seen. I remember you tagged me. But I didn't
have the hair though. Like I never had the hair, and I never, you know what I'm saying? But like, I always had the skater style.
Remember you was tatting me. I don't know if you remember, but you was tatting this Mega Man tattoo, right? And we were listening to songs. We were listening to, what was it? Third Eye Blind came on, Jumper, and then The Academy Is came on. And The Academy Is like my all-time favorite band. That's my all-time favorite band. I know there's better bands, but my favorite band that made the best songs for me was The Academy Is. So it's like, we were listening to that shit, and I started singing that shit. He was like looking at me like, oh, yeah, I know this song. What you mean? Like, yeah, put this on. I know this is my shit. Yeah. And the fact that he was like, yeah, man, you just looked at me, was like, man, I love this song. We just kept going, right?
Yep.
So I was like,
Yep.
well, that's what makes you seen, or if not seen, at least emo in some sense. Like you have
Well,
the over amount of emotions to try to like look at somebody else's life and take it in and be
yeah.
empathic and be like, yo, I can see where they're coming from because I've been through that, or I know somebody that's been through that themselves.
True.
You agree or not? Right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I
But
wouldn't say I was overly emotional. Like I was always like a happy, sort of outgoing type person. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
But like I did enjoy the scene. Like I did love the scene. I loved seeing it. I loved being a part of it. I loved like being part of the landscape because the beats were like part of what created that. You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I enjoyed being a part of that and making like iconic um beats, like
Right,
lead synths, you know what I mean, like
right,
stuck that people that or stuff that stuck in people's head, you know what
right,
I mean, like
right.
so I definitely feel super blessed to be like associated, but I like me personally I was never actually that though, you know what I'm saying, like
No,
I
I
it
get what you're
eventually
saying.
became that, and
Right.
I like inadvertently created like a little piece.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that
No,
was cool, and
100%.
I appreciated that. But
100%. And the reason why I was saying, sorry to cut you off, but the reason why I was saying that you were seeing or you were emo and stuff like that because you knew about the Academy is and shit like that. And I know the
yeah,
Academy is like the album that we were listening to, that shit came out in 04, 05. So I knew you
it's
knew
all my
about that.
little brother.
Huh?
My little brother. He's the one who put me on like
Put you up on that?
Hawthorne Heights, The Used, like you know what I'm
Right.
saying? All that.
Right.
He put me on to that. Like my little
Okay.
brother, I was always like Midwest, East Coast hip hop. And my
Right.
little brother put me on to like emo music, you
All
know,
the bands that were popping
cuz
off on the MySpace.
yeah, like he's amazing with guitar, like my brother's dope. And it's funny
Yeah.
because yeah, like him and I will get each other to like get outside of our boundaries. Like I'll make him rap sometimes. Like my
Right.
very first rap songs were with my little brother. And
No doubt.
but sometimes like he'll make like funky guitar beats and shit, and then I'll sing on it with him. You know what
No
I mean?
doubt.
So like him and I will get outside of our comfort zones, and it's cool because like he's super talented just in like a different mindset. But as far as emo music goes, yeah, my brother put me on to
He's the
all
one that
that.
got you on.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
for me, the reason why I even got into like, I knew about you guys. I was already going to the shows. Like I grew
Yeah.
up hip hop. I grew up hip hop to the point. I don't know how much you know about me, Phat J, but I grew up hip hop to the point that like my brother, when I was a little kid, like 11 years old, my brother sold crack outside of our house. Like he sold crack. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
that hip hop. It was like he was in the kitchen cooking up crack for other people. Yo, what's up? You want to get? Oh, let me. But so that's how
Yeah.
I grew up. So when I came into the scene, it was more like just trying to get away from hip hop for
Yeah.
me, because
Yeah.
I'm so hip hop, it just seeks out of my pores. I have to
Yeah.
like try put a mask on, fake it to be not hip hop because I'm so hip hop. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was rapping. I was one of the little kids that was rapping before I knew how to talk. Yo,
I'm
spit
the
that
same.
fucking Black Street, and I was there.
I'm the
Yo,
same way.
the ball, like I was doing all the shit when
Yep.
I was a little kid. Like, oh, watch him. That's the reason why we both became like
Yeah.
entertainers and wanting to entertain and put on a show.
Hmm.
So it's because we were little kids and like, go
It's
ahead,
just
keep
about
going.
finding that happy medium, bro. Like, because that other part of you, even though you think it's a mask, it's actually not. It's just the other side. It's the dark side of the moon. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? That person is you.
right,
That this electronic Brokencyde style, that this Mirage EP, that's like that's my other side. You know what I mean?
right,
Because I'm just
right,
like you. Like I love hip hop, bro. Talk to me about hip hop all day. I have endless amounts of knowledge about hip hop,
right,
but like when 2009 came along, it changed my mind. My brother, he changed my mind. It changed my outlook. I started looking at music in a different way, and
right,
I made those songs hip hop. Do you know if that makes any sense at all? Like I brought my hip hopness to the scene. You know what I mean? So
No,
like
I understand, 100%.
a lot of the stuff that I was rapping at first was like abstract, because we had this song called "A Hoe for Show." I don't know if you ever heard that one, but it's like a Brokencyde classic. But I'm like,
A hoe for show. I
yeah,
don't know if I heard that one. My girl probably heard that. My girl is
it's
a
off our
big fan.
it's our off our first EP. So that came out in like 2008, 2007, something like that. But off our first EP, and it's like a really abstract song, but like hella kids loved that shit, and like it was just done in a different way. But I was also learning this other side of myself, like
Right,
how do you make something catchy? How do you simplify it yet keep it complex? You know
right,
what I mean? Because it's all about simplicity at the end of the day. You don't want to have 50 million sounds bombarding the head. You know, you want just a nice, clean, to the point sound. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep, yep, yep.
So that's the
Yeah,
hardest
man.
part, is finding that happy
I
medium.
I get it, man. For me, I don't even know what's good anymore, man. I've been making
It's
music.
not real.
I've been making music for 25 years. All right, people in the chat, anybody that's gonna listen to this afterwards, I'm 33. I've been making music for 25 years of my life, literally. So like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what sounds good anymore. Like, I make some shit and I'm like, yo, this is gonna be fire, and then they'll be like, oh god, you know, it's cool. You said a couple things that I like, but I don't even know what sounds good anymore, man. I don't. And
There's
in
no
this
such
time,
thing. There's no
right?
such thing
It's,
as, you remember we were talking about this last time. It's
yo,
like
Phat J,
there
I
is
fucking
no
love you,
such
bro.
thing.
Hold up, I fucking love you, bro. I fucking
Love you
love
too,
you.
bro.
Cause you just came out of nowhere, like there's no such thing. You just hit me with the spiritual woo woo shit, like there's no such thing as a good song. It's all
But it is. It's like, who's listening to that song? That's what makes it a good song.
you're 100% right, though. You're
Who's looking
100%
at
right.
the painting? Who's looking at the tattoo? That's why it's a good tattoo. But not only that, like you're gonna look at that tattoo. Oh, Phat J did that. Like we were on, like
The memory,
our tour. You know what I mean? Like
the
there's
story,
exactly, but it's like a flagpole, and this is where I was at. You know what I
right,
mean? It's
right,
timestamp.
right. Like
I love
I'll be
that.
honest, one of the most simple, like this is the simplest tattoo. I don't got that many tattoos, but this is one of the most simplest tattoos. And I remember you telling me I was gonna give you like 30, $40 for it, and you're like, dude, I asked for like this big.
Yeah.
It's like this big. Ask for
Yeah.
this big. I'm like, yo, Phat J, this big. I don't wanna. I just wanna pay you. I just want to pay you, and I don't care. I want you to make sure you stay on this tour. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about. Yeah, I want you to stay on this tour so we can have a good time and we can just enjoy ourselves. So whatever the fuck it takes. And you was
Yeah.
like $30, and I was like, okay, this big. And you were like, no, let's do it that big. You want some more shit on the side? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead. But you looked out, bro.
I
And it was
appreciated
all
it
about
too.
the memory. It was all about the
Yeah.
memory. Like, I never forget. I look at this fucking thing. I'll be shitting. I'll be drunk in a fucking weird bathroom and, at a bar or some shit. And I look down. I'll be drunk. Like, Mega Man tattoo.
But that's how I was able to continue that tour, was because like
100%.
you and Cindy out in Illinois, you know who I'm talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
they hooked me up with people that wanted tattoos. You wanted tattoos, so like
Mm-hmm.
that's how I was able to even make it to Cleveland or wherever we had to stop. But I wouldn't have even made it that far, because like I was having all sorts of trouble at the beginning, because I was gonna
Right.
take my own car and it broke down, and it was just like, it was
A
crazy,
bunch
dude.
of shit.
It
Like
was
fucking
crazy.
tour is. For me, it
Yeah.
was like that tour. I had excess money, and although I made a couple dollars on that tour, I wasn't expecting to make money. So I
Yeah.
had like thousands of dollars in an account that was sitting there like, well, if I spend it, I spend it, but I'm gonna enjoy my fucking stuff. I don't give a fuck if this
Yeah.
becomes a thing or not. So
Yeah.
when you were like, oh, I need it, I'm like, all right, we'll do something and get this tattoo. And I started going around the
Yeah.
room. I remember being in that house like, yo, what's up? Who wants a tattoo?
Yeah.
They need a tattoo. We need to keep this guy on tour. Like, let's get this
Yeah.
guy.
I appreciated that so much. Like for
That
real,
was
for
dope
real,
though. That
for
was
real.
dope. Like you think about that as an emergency like option that you were like, fuck that, I'm gonna have to tattoo some people to get a couple dollars on this tour.
Yeah.
And that actually became a moment in our life,
Yeah.
probably forever, bro, that we're gonna be thinking about, yo, remember we was sitting there, right, was, you know, you tattooing like 3, 4 people, everybody getting tattoos at Cindy's house, and we play kickball
Yeah.
in the morning and shit.
Yep.
We had a good fucking time, bro. That was a good
People
fucking
wrestling
time.
in the front yard.
Right. Right. Yeah, somebody fucking got their shoulder or elbow, some shit dislocated. I didn't want no problems with
Yeah.
that. I was upstairs. I didn't want no problems with that. Yo,
Yep.
so the last question I want to ask you and shit before we get out of here, brings me back to that time where you were doing the tattoo. Before we were talking about it, we're talking about that merch deal that Brokencyde had,
Yeah.
and how it went awry, and how people were or the label or somebody that was managing you. I remember you told me it briefly. That
Yeah.
somebody sold your rights on Brokencyde, gave y'all a little check, and then kept all the money for themselves or some shit. Explain it, because I don't know fucking.
Somewhat. It went into because we tried to start our own like clothing distribution, and so like it was called Star Machine, and we were trying to do like a lot of like us and Kill Paradise, and you know, like anybody
Right,
we could like get under the wing to like do their merch, and
right,
we had the direct plug with Hot Topic,
right,
and so we signed a really good deal with them. But after all the logistics and finding out people aren't who they say they are, and you know what I mean, like just going through it, we ended up getting screwed over. And like that's sort of the that's why I wish I was more business minded, you know, because but I am now. Like I understand how you get screwed now. I understand
right,
conflict of interest. I
right.
understand these things. But like you and I are the same age. So
Yeah,
like so I was 19 trying to figure this out, and like
right,
nobody's big from Albuquerque.
right.
Like we're the biggest thing from where we're from.
A hundred
And
percent.
like
Fat
there's
J,
nobody
it's
to
like,
ask.
yeah, it's like I get that 100%. For me, there was nobody to ask, but I was doing all my research since I was fucking since I'm telling you, bro. Like I was one of these weirdo little kids. Like I was 8, 9 years old. Like I'm gonna be star one day. Like I was like that. So I was
Yeah.
studying everything I need to study about being a star and everything. So I had opportunities. The person that got me on tour, I'll say his name. I don't give a fuck. Zach Neal, who's managed Motionless in White and had them signed to Masquerade Records. He wanted to
Yeah.
sign me. He wanted to sign me before I got on Warped Tour in 2012. And the first thing I asked, what's the budget? What we looking at? What we gonna do? And I started asking him serious questions. Deaded it right then
Yeah.
and there. It was deaded. It was like, nah. It became
Yeah.
a fucking cloud that just went into the sky. It was over with. As soon as I started asking intelligent questions of like, what's the
Yeah.
budget? What's gonna be my advance? Are we planning to do splits? I was just asking questions. I was just asking questions. You want to sign me? I'm
Yeah.
just asking questions. I'm not saying this.
Well,
I
it's
demand this. I
risk
demand that.
versus reward. It's risk versus reward. Like,
Hundred
how much
percent.
of a risk am I going to take? And like everything's different now because we don't need them. We don't need them at all. Like we can do all of this ourselves. Like I do everything in house. I don't need a
Right.
label at all anymore. I am a
Right.
label, you know,
Right.
and I can put it out if I know how to put it out. And that's why
Right.
friends like Melissa are so important, because she gives me game, you know, and
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
oh,
100%.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know what a link tree was. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
she's
Right.
putting me on, like, you need to have this, you need to do this, you need to do
Right.
that. And I'm like, damn, like that's why it's so important to have like a team. I know they say that, but like our manager Jared Baker, he was so good at his job. He was so good. And
Right.
like there was certain toxic people in our life that like they try to tell you that things are a certain way, and you're like, wait, are they or aren't they? And now that I see everything from hindsight, from far away, I know that he was like a good friend, and he was like always taking care of us. But we
Right.
made bad decisions, dude. We made some really bad decisions. We could have been a Lil Pump. We could have been huge, but like we made some very, very critical mistakes, and conflict of interest was huge, because you got to understand, when you're signing to a label, they're going to try to do everything they can in-house so they get paid twice. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's all
Exactly.
low, and then they inflate it, like they're paying out 1,800 and they're telling you it's 18,000. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying labels are bad at that point in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were critical to our success, and they always
Definitely.
did what they said they were going to do. But it's more like, is this going to benefit the overall project? Is this
Right.
going to be best for the band or the product
Right.
overall? So
Right.
that's the hardest part of finding out the hard way, that no, that was not best for your product. No, that wasn't what you should have done. But like, isn't that part of life? Isn't that growing? You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's why I try to take it, and I talk to all the little homies, like, yo, don't do this, don't do that. Like, trust me, there's this X, Y, and Z that they're gonna try and do. And then they'll be like, oh man, like, you helped me so much, like, just knowing that. And so
Right.
I feel like I was really, really blessed to be part of Brokencyde at all. So in order for me to give back, I'm spreading the know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling
Mhm.
these people what they need to know about the music industry that they would never have the opportunity to have otherwise. And maybe it'll
Right.
make them grow, and who knows, but I'm just
Right.
saying, it's not about
Right.
that. It's about giving back to the art that raised me.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
And just spreading the information, because a lot of people don't want to. They don't want to tell you. They want to sell it to you. You
Exactly.
know. But yeah, like that guy, man. As soon as I was like asking questions, he ran for the hills. So I kind of figured, all right, this is what it is. I'm probably never gonna get a deal because I'm too smart, or I'm acting too smart. You know what I mean? Like one or the other. Either I'm not
Yeah.
as smart as I think I am, but I'm acting smart. So they're like, fuck this guy. This guy's gonna be asking questions all the fucking time. Fuck him. Go
Yeah.
get some other guy that just wants to be like, hey, I'm a superstar. Where me, I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, how's this work again? So I'm gonna go on this thing, and then how much is gonna be spent here, and then how much I'm getting back from that? Like, I want to know the excruciating details, and then people are
Yeah.
gonna be like, ah, fuck you, motherfucker.
But
So
sometimes it's just about, like, not necessarily taking the L, but like getting into something that you're not going to win for the experience. You
hundred
know,
percent,
you're not going to get better at drawing until you draw 1,000 shitty pictures. You know what I
hundred
mean?
percent,
Because you're
100%.
refining, always refining. And that's what makes a dope artist, in my opinion, is somebody who's taken the time to refine, and they're worried about the product versus like the quick come up. You know what I
Right,
mean?
100%, 100%, man. Yo, Fat J, man, thank you for showing up on the Street Shaman Podcast. I
Of
appreciate
course,
having
brother.
you, bro. I know you're gonna come back again. I know there's more shit to talk about.
I could talk
You
to you
know.
forever, bro. Like, straight up, we could figure out like 50 podcasts.
Right, right, right. We can do this shit forever. So don't worry about it, man. I appreciate
I
you
appreciate
fucking
you so much.
stopping by, talking about the project, Mikl Shea, Phat J's, Mirage. Check that out right now. Spotify, iTunes, Google,
Yeah.
Amazon, all the fucking things. You just go to
Shout
all
out
any.
Shout out to Mikl Shea. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Sev and Ants and the Brokencyde crew. Shout out
Right,
to all the homies. Like, I wouldn't
right,
be who I am without y'all. And you
right.
included, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Rise. I know you didn't say Rise, but you
Rise.
want to say
Yep.
shout out to Rise. That's my
Oh,
guy.
bro, I said
Well,
Brokencyde crew.
I know,
That's
I
all the
know. The
umbrella. Well,
umbrella.
D's,
You did
everybody.
the umbrella. I got you.
Yep.
Thanks to everybody that came through in the chat. I think Maria said one. Let me see what's up. I got a question here. It says, how do you get the right people around you? Novice poet looking to go pro. Maria, it's all about just finding people that are going to mesh with you well with what you're trying to get accomplished. Because at the end of the day, if you're with some people that aren't about what you're trying to get done, then they're just going to slow you down or try to tell you why that's a stupid idea. What do you feel
Yeah.
about that, Phat J?
I
You got anything to
think
add to
I
that?
think you just make poetry for the heart. You know, you bleed on paper. It's not about being appreciated. It's not about anybody trying to discover you or whatever, because it's called starving artist for a reason. But the starving artist is always happy because you're doing what you love to do. So if you love to write poetry, then write poetry. And if nobody cares, well, then fuck them. But you got to get yourself out there as much as you can if you want to succeed at it. And anything is possible, because no matter what it is, somebody will like it. There's no such thing as good or bad. It's just, are you in front of the right people?
100%, man. And with that said, thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you, Phat J.
Of
Appreciate
course.
everybody. It's Poet and the Rockstar, Phat J, Street Shamans Podcast.